Prove me wrong. Abortion is self-defense. What? That's insane. How could you possibly say that? Well, you think abortion is killing a living person, right? Yeah, of course. It's murder. All right, well, can you give me literally any other context where a person is inside of you without your consent and you don't have the right to kill them in self-defense? Well, no, I guess not, but that's totally different. You can't hold a baby to the same standards of justified self-defense as you would a grown man. Yeah, of course not. It's hard to imagine a scenario where a living, breathing baby is going to pose much of a threat to you. But in the context of an abortion, we're talking about an embryo, and that is pretty much guaranteed to cause you significant harm. How can an embryo cause you harm? Pregnancy is perfectly natural. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it isn't harmful. I mean, pregnancy has been one of the leading causes of death for women throughout human history. Maybe throughout history, but that is not the case with modern medicine. True, but a pregnant woman still has about a 1 in 3,000 chance of dying, and while that's small, it's not insignificant when it comes to risking your life. And it's not just the fatal harm that they need to be worried about. Not only is pregnancy extremely burdensome and often painful, but the pain of childbirth itself is often the most intense pain a human will ever experience in their life. It can tear a woman's taint from their vagina to their anus, can cause permanent pelvic floor damage and abdominal damage, and cause often lifelong chronic conditions like hemorrhoid and back pain, among many, many, many other bad things. Okay, but how is any of that the child's fault? They didn't ask to be there, and they have no agency in the situation. They don't deserve to die just to prevent harm to the mother. Since when is agency a required component of self-defense? If I accidentally consume hallucinogenic drugs that cause me to attack you, I have no agency in that situation. But that doesn't mean you just have to sit there and let me assault you. Obviously, you retain the right to defend yourself, because the right to self-defense is an extension of your right to bodily autonomy. But you're forgetting that the pregnancy is caused by the woman's actions. She assumes the risk of all of that happening when she decides to have sex, because she knows this is a potential outcome. No, just because you know something is a potential outcome of an action doesn't mean you just have to blindly accept that outcome. Getting pregnant on birth control has about the same odds as getting into a car accident. But if we were to get into a true accident which results in you needing my kidney to survive, that doesn't mean I just have to give it to you because I knew I could get in an accident every time I get behind the wheel. Alright, but that's not exactly talking about self-defense anymore. Okay, well, if I walked into a dark alley in a bad part of town, I know there's a chance I might get assaulted. But that doesn't mean I just have to sit there and take it. I have the right to self-defense, even though I put myself in a situation where I might need to use it. As a man, pregnancy seems like an awful experience, and I'm very glad I never have to go through it. I cannot imagine claiming that women do not have any right to defend themselves from this just because they decided to have sex.